Hello and welcome back to my studio here in Cornwall, where this morning I have made these small slab built pots, and I'm beginning to think about the next stage, which is going to be making marks on the surface of these. But before I do that, there's an important part of the sort of construction process that I need to do, and that is that I'm going to cut into these and I'm going to then reassemble them. So with some of them I'm actually going to cut them into two pieces and then put the two halves back together. With others I might just cut out sections and then apply another piece of clay into the pot. Now the reason for doing this is it's almost like the beginning of the mark making process on the surface. The marks that are left with this cutting and reassembling process will become some of the initial shapes and marks that are very much part of the surface, but the difference is that they're marks that are made into the structure of the pot. The sort of effect that it might create are pieces like this. This is finished, and in this one I made this form, and then I cut it and I added this piece of clay into the form, deliberately leaving steps here in order to sort of show that this piece of clay has been added, so sort of like a truth to how it's actually been made. And this one as well, a much smaller pot, but with this pot I made it pretty much like these, cut it in half, put the two halves back together, and then wanted to highlight these different sections by making it very much a different colour from one side to the other, and having different sort of marks on the two different halves. So that's what I'm going to share in this video. The first thing I need to think about is where I'm going to cut this. I don't want to cut it right in the middle. I think that would visually look a little bit odd. So I want to make one section bigger than the other. So I'm thinking just about proportions. So I think I'm going to make the cut about there. Putting a pencil mark on is quite a good way of just making some initial marks that will disappear later on. And I'm just going to get my knife and cut it through like that. It's going to be similar on the other side, but I don't have to make it. I can make the proportion slightly different if I want on this side, so I might make it just slightly bigger. And then if I just look at the bottom, that's one side, that's the other side, and then I just want to join those two marks up. So I've got these two sections like that, and then I'm going to stick it back together. When I stick it back together, I don't want the join to disappear. I want it to be quite obvious that it's been cut and reassembled. So I'm just going to stick it back so that there's a little bit of a step between these two, so it's not completely flat here, and I want it to be like that as well. So I will probably cut a bit off the top of one side or the other, similar to this piece, so that I've got this step, which just emphasizes, it's another element that emphasizes the two sections. So the joining bit is fairly conventional, so I think we can probably speed through that quite quickly. So there we have it, the pot has been joined back together again, and this is now, I think, a much more interesting form than it was before I'd cut it up. And I've now created these two shapes which are going to form part of the surface mark making, and there will be more complex marks that I put on the surface, but this is a sort of starting point. Instead of having just one big sort of square shape, I've now got these two rectangular shapes. I've got another pot here. I'm going to do a similar thing, but I'm not going to cut it right in half. I'm just going to cut a section out of this one. So again, I can just plan what that might look like, and I'm going to cut a section out, and then I'm going to replace it with another piece of clay. And the piece of clay that I'm going to use to replace that shape is going to be this piece. So I've prepared this with some mixed grog and bits of dried up clay that I've rolled into the surface. So this is going to be quite a textured piece that's going to go back into this shape that I'm about to cut out. So the bit that I cut out, I can use like a template. So I know that I want the piece that I cut out of here has to fit back into there quite precisely along these edges. I want to make it overhang a bit further this way and be a little bit taller as well. But I can use this as a template for these two edges, and then I want it to be a bit bigger on this side and a bit taller. So I just cut this precisely as I can along there, and then on this edge that I know is going to be the outside edge, I'm just going to score it rather than cut all the way through, and the same on the top there. The reason for that is that I don't want a really sharp cut edge showing here or here. So instead of it being a sharp cut edge, I can break the clay and it's just going to leave a nicer, more irregular, slightly sort of torn edge, which is a bit more in keeping with the rest of the pot. So that's the piece, this very, very textured piece of clay that's going to fit back into there. I have been thinking about doing a YouTube video that's more about the basics of sort of slab building. You know, how to join clay, how to, you know, what state the clay should be at. I've just reached 1,000 subscribers on my channel, which is absolutely brilliant. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed. And it would be quite good to have some feedback from people. You know, what is there anything you'd like me to cover in these videos? So I'm quite willing to listen to suggestions and see what I can do. So if you message me or send me some kind of message if you've got an idea about something you'd like me to cover. Now at this point it's important to put a bit of pressure on that join. So it's important to get my fingers around that piece of clay and be able to just sort of wriggle it back and forward a little bit, and it just helps the two surfaces just key together. It can be quite tricky depending, you know, it's quite, I have to reach down quite far there to get to that bit, but I just about can to put a bit of pressure on there. And then I think it turns out it is the right sort of size. It's just that end just needs to go, just needs to stand up a little bit more. And again, I can get my fingers around this quite well and just get a bit of pressure on there. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to cut one of them out and put it in there. So with this one, I've not got a base. Deliberately left the base off on this one because what I'm going to do is cut the piece again into two sections, but rather than joining this one back like this, I'm going to overlap, so it's going to create more of a step where this join is. so it goes back more like this. So we've got a bit of an overlap. So yeah, you don't have to just join it back in this sort of conventional way like that. You can move the section around and rejoin it. The other thing I was playing around when I was sort of first exploring this idea of cutting up and putting the pot back together was maybe having two pots and cutting both of them and putting one section back with another. So maybe cutting this up and then having a section from another pot altogether. Actually, this one's joined back together, but you know, just playing around with joining these shapes together in different ways. And also just thinking about, you know, does it have to go back like that? Could it be stepped up? You know, what about if I turned it on its side and stuck it back on? There's endless sort of creative ways of using this technique. It's one of the great things about slab building. It's a very flexible process, very flexible technique, creative technique. So, you know, and if I want to step it up, how much do I want to step it up? What, does it look ridiculous if it's up there, or should it just be a little bit offset? All these things are quite enjoyable to play around with, creatively enjoyable to play around with. So I'm scraping a little bit of the clay away on the inside of that piece and on the outside of this piece. This is easier to do when the clay is leather hard because it comes off in quite sort of nice little sort of shavings like that, and it just leaves the clay a bit thinner so that when I put it together there isn't going to be quite such a noticeable step. And then I'm going to join that in the usual way, scoring and applying slip. So I've scored that and I'm going to put some slip on it on both sides. And then the important bit when you put this together is that I can apply a bit of pressure to the join, which just makes it a little bit of a stronger join. And if I can just, the other thing I like to do is just if I can wriggle the two pieces back and forward a little bit, it just helps them to sort of key together, and again just makes a stronger join. So I'm going to do the same on this side. So these pieces are now complete in terms of reassembling them after they were sliced up, cut up, and I've ended up now with forms that are more interesting in terms of being able to put marks on the surface. I've got a more interesting sort of background structure to work on. So what I'm going to do now is think about colours, marks, building up layers of colour, putting more marks on the surface. So the sort of making, the sort of structure part of this is done, and now I can start working on the surface.